D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of the Orville, episode 7, and it was pretty good. We got to learn the origins of the Kaylon and everything, and how they overturned their creators and everything. It wasn't something we hadn't seen before, in other science fiction stuff, but it was still fun to see. They did have some underlying tones of messaging and stuff like that, big corporations and men are weak and all that stuff. But it was a pretty good episode. It wasn't as message heavy or identity politics heavy as some of the earlier episodes. And I have to be honest. Okay, so the actress that plays Lieutenant Burke, she's very hot. She's very hot. And I don't dislike her, but she's getting so much screen time, like so much screen time. And I'm like, listen, I get it, Seth, that you're dating her, but there are some other interesting characters that I really would like to know, to learn a little bit more about, like Commander Tala. I like this character, and we don't get as much of her as we do Burke. Burke's gotten so much time every single episode, like so much time compared to everybody else. I'm just like, what's going on here? What's going on? And we all know what's going on. She's sleeping with the writer, director, showrunner, everything. It's a little, not nepotism, but you know what I'm saying. He's playing favorites, and I'm all like, that's a no-go. But other than that, she does do a good job. Like I think she does a good job acting wise, and she's so hot, and everything. But yeah, back to this episode. I did like this episode. I thought it was very interesting. I liked some of the things that they said, especially stuff going on with Dr. Finn and Isaac. That was super interesting, especially at the end. I was like, oh no, and everything, because I was like, oh, they're gonna make it and everything, and then it powered down and stuff. So and Gordon had my favorite little moment of the whole episode, and I'll point it out when we get to it. But I was like, see, this is why I like Gordon. Gordon's my favorite character, because if I was like, I would do the same thing in that instance. It was good. It was, and I got a good chuckle out of it. But yeah, so yeah, this episode was pretty good. But yeah, let's dive into this episode. But before I do, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I got that out of the way, let's get started on breaking down this episode. So it starts off on the Kaylon home planet. And we see this car land, this little space car, and this little boy's all like, he's here. Now, when this first happened, I was like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, okay, and everything. And then this box shows up, and then she's like, what is it? And they're like, it's something that's going to change our lives forever. And I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, it's the Kaylon. I was like, oh, shut up and everything. I know now. And the dad comes in, he's like, okay, and it opens up. And it's this, and they're like, it's, and she's like, oh, this guy's name is Jan. She's like, oh, Jan, it's perfect. And then it's this thing, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's perfect until it cuts your face off and takes over your planet. So yeah, so then we move over to the bedroom. And we're getting a little bad baby and everything. But this is Lamar and Tala. and they're doing the hibbity dibbity, because remember last episode they started making out or whatnot. I don't know if they had sex in the workplace. If they did, unprofessional, guys, unprofessional. But she breaks his arm because remember she has superhuman strength or whatever, and bruises some of his ribs, and then I can't remember if she fractures his clavicle, but she hurts him like pretty bad. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the med bay, and she's like, do you want me to go with you? And he's like, no, I got this. So he gets Dr. Finn's all like, I'm going to dinner. Don't have anybody bother me unless it's an attack by the Kaylon or something like that. I can't remember. And he comes in. She's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm doing a training exercise in the holodeck and everything. And she's all like, this is dangerous. You need to take a break from this training exercise. He's like, okay, doc, I hear you. And so then she goes to dinner with Isaac and everything. And so he puts on his little virtual thing. And he gives her compliments and he says nice things and everything. And he's all like, so are we a couple now? And she's all like, no, I'm not quite sure what we are, but when we are, you'll just know. And or he's like, will you tell me when we are a couple? And she's like, Isaac, that's not something I can tell you. That's something that you'll just know. And he's like, will this be when I get a gut feeling? And she's like, yes. And he's like, I'm incapable of getting gut feelings. And she's like, long story short, she's like, then she goes, I'll tell you when we're a couple and everything. And he's all like, she's like, by the way, you don't have to call me Dr. Finn anymore. We've been hanging out for so long. You can just call me Claire. And he's like, Claire. And she gets all like, I like when you say my name and everything. So then the ship, they have their little debriefing and they're going to be meeting with an alien species that I did not write down, and I can't remember what it is. But their females they're a matriarchal society, so they're like Amazons, but not completely like Amazons, because they do have men, but the men take a back seat. Which this part didn't bother me. It's just like towards the end and everything, and little comments that they make and everything, but we'll see. So. So they're gonna have Tala do the introductions and stuff because she's had dealings with them before. And Bortus is unhappy about this because he's like, this is horrible or whatnot. But Bortus comes from an all male species and stuff. So I'm like, Bortus, come on. I'm like, those in glass houses and everything. They live in glass houses. So they've got an idea what they're going to do. And basically what they're going to do is they're just going to swap out all the men with the women, and the men will just be little lackeys and everything. And they're just going to gradually move them into knowing that men and women work beside each other because, when they work together, it's better, and I agree with that 100%. I work with female coworkers and, we work together. We're great. All that good stuff. My favorite is this woman named Rosa we work with. She's from Cambodia and everything. She's the only one I would save from a fire. I love her so much. She's like the best. Anyways, I probably only would save her from a fire because she's the only one I could pick up. But she's so great. Anyways, so they meet with this ship. Now, I have to be honest with you. For the most part, I've liked the ships from this show. I do not like this one. I don't like it. But whatever, because there's some Star Trek ships that I don't like and everything. I'm like, oh, that's an ugly ship, but whatever. But so these aliens come aboard. I don't even like their shuttles. Anyways, it's fine. I'm sorry. Side note. Anyways, so they get off and everything, and they're cool looking. I like this alien species. I like their little, I don't know what these are right here and all the down the side, but I like them. I like their little get-ups and everything. I think they look cool. I love aliens in these shows. I wish they had more like on the bridge crew, but I don't make those decisions. Anyways, so they meet all of the crew and they're like, hey, I love this blue that she's got going all the way down the side. That's really, really cool. And then it comes up like that. That's really cool. I like that. Anyway, so they get the guys to come in and they get their luggage and they kind of do this like slapstick kind of comedy thing. They trip over each other. They can't get through the door kind of thing. So like this is acceptable quarters and everything. And they come in and this is, they like, are all your men so slow? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I don't like that. I'm like, we don't need to bring down, another species, another sex just to elevate ours. And it's not, come on and everything, but it's fine. It's fine. You know what? Fine. Men are slow. I don't care. Anyways. So then they're on the bridge and everything. And I can't remember what he says. But yeah, and everything. Although they did make a comment about this being a lot of bags and everything, but I'm all like, listen, if a delegation comes to your ship for a week or whatever, they will need a lot of stuff. So I'm like, that's then what they have right there for a delegation doesn't seem like a lot to me. That's like what, like 3 bags per person. I'm like, whatever. Anyways, so on the bridge, so they switch up the positions because they need to save face. What if they want to come to the bridge and check stuff out? And so they tell Bortus, he's like, what? And they're like, maybe you should leave. And he's like, fine, and everything. I love Bortus. Bortus is great. So then they get the planet this planet that they meet at is supposed to be it was stripped bare. It was mined bare and everything, but they get like this little like signal or whatever. So they decide, they're like, all right, since we're useless here, us boys, we're going to go down to the planet and everything. And they take Burke with them. And I'm like, Burke again? I'm like, I get it. She's like great with the little compartmentalizing or whatever it is that she does. But I'm all like, it's not like you're doing it, anything crazy on the planet. You're just going to check something out, but it's fine. It's like, whatever. And they go down to the planet, and then we flash back to the Kaylon planet. I'm just going to call these the Kaylons too, because didn't they just take over their Kaylon name? I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember. And don't get mad at me, okay? I didn't rewatch the seasons before, so don't get mad if I don't remember. You guys get mad at small things. Like I probably said Tala's name wrong, and you guys are going to be all like, it's pronounced Tala, not Talia. You're so wrong. And it's like, all right, sorry. Anyways, okay. So it's like dinner and everything. So they sit down to dinner and they're like, oh, this is fantastic and everything. And they're like, how many recipes does it know? 246. And the kids come in, this one bitches about whatever, the spice that's, I don't like oregano and everything. And it's like, you've never had it, try it. Yeah. I got a 6-year-old daughter right now. She's going through the same phase. If it even has the whiff of tomato on it, she's like, I don't like it. I'm like, you've never had it before. And I don't like it. Yeah, you like pizza sauce. That's got tomato on it and everything. But I'm like, whatever. So they're talking about taking this is K1. They're talking about taking K1 to school. And he's like, I would like to see school. And they're like, no, you're needed here. And he's like, why? Why can't I go to school? And he's like, because you need to stay here. And they get a little concerned about that because he, wants to learn. And me personally, like, I'd be like, listen, because he's like, can I go to the school in the future? And I'd be like, I don't know. We'll revisit it later on. Because like, if we had a robot, if I had a robot to do all my crap for me, I'd be like, thank you and everything. But I would just talk to it like a normal person. I'd just be like, hey, whatever, robot, what's going on, dude? But anyway, so they go down to the planet. And they land and they go through, and it's supposed to be, it's obviously inhabited by somebody, but it's supposed to be abandoned. So they go in and they meet a Kaylon and they're like, be like, don't move, Kaylon, and everything. And he's all like, I am not going to hurt you and everything. And they're like, yeah, sure you aren't, liar. And then this alien comes out. I love the design of this alien. I don't remember if we've seen this before, but I love the side right here. And I really do like this design right here. I don't know who designed it, but I really like it a lot. And she's all like, I'm Dr. Such and Such. I can't remember her name. Dr. Vilka. We're going to say Vilka. So she's all like, so she basically, what she did was she gave this Kaylon feelings. She took out something from it and connected something, whatever, and took out its little head guns or whatever. And this is Timmis, and Timmis can feel, like he has feelings and emotions and he has empathy and all that good stuff. So they take it back on board, and Lamar's just like, this is fantastic. This is amazing. This is engineering, and stuff. He's like, this is great. You're a genius. She's like, thank you very much. And so they're all like, talking about how, her father helped her until he died and everything and all that stuff. So then back in the engineering, the boys have to leave because if the Amazons come in, they can't see men and everything. And she's all like, later, boys. And what is the goop's name? His name is sorry, I have Yelpton. Yelp it. He's leaving and everything. And this one right here, he's like, they can't even tell that I'm not a man. She's like, yeah, but we want to take the chance. So these ladies come in, and Burke is, she got the cheat sheet from Lamar, and she's telling them all about their stuff. And she's like, this is very impressive. And she's like, would you be willing to share this technology? And they're like, if negotiations are open, anything's possible. So then she gets a little psst, hey, psst, which back in my day, the women did not like that when you were like, yeah, psst, psst. They were like, excuse you, I'm a woman. You need to address me. And they considered that catcalling, but I just feel like, you're right, but I never did that. I never got that hopes and everything, because I just be like, why are you doing that? Stop that. Anyways, so Lamar's there and he wants to talk to me. He's like, why are you ghosting me? You're not talking. She's like, I'm hurting you. He's like, it's fine. He's like, I don't want to give this up. And I'm all like, man, that must be some good vagina right there. It must be like top notch and everything, because if he's getting broken arms and he's okay with that, it must be top notch. Like, he is so far into the pussy fog that he's just like, I can't get out of it. It's so good. It's so good. He is trapped, which, hey, haven't we all been there? Come on. I mean, well, whatever your version of vagina is. I don't know what your version of vagina is. So the masters of the Kaylons themselves, they're watching this ball of light and they're talking about how this is entertaining. And I'm all like, what? I mean, I could watch this for like a good 2 minutes, like those little globes that you mess with and the electric stuff comes off and you like touch it and the electricity touches your hand. I could do that for like 2 minutes, but after that, I'd be like, this isn't entertaining anymore. I what's going on here? And K1's all like talking about, what is it for? How do you watch it or whatever? And they get a little bothered by this. And they're like, go power down now. And he's like, I'll call the company in the morning. So he goes and powers down. So then they're sitting here and they're talking about it. And Isaac comes in and Timmis is all like, hello, brother. And they talk about stuff. I don't remember. Shoot. Sorry, guys. And then they're talking to the admiral here about 2 things. They're talking about the Amazonian ladies, and they're also talking about the Timmis, the Kaylon. And he's all like, just keep me informed and stuff, and we'll see what we can do. As far as the Amazonians go, don't screw it up, because this could backfire. And then yeah. So then back in Lamar's apartment, or maybe this is Tal's apartment, I don't know. She breaks his leg. At that point, I'd be like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore and everything. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I'll just go to med bay. Isaac helps him to the med bay and everything. Yeah, she's like, again? And then she's like, Isaac, I wanted to talk to you. She's like, so Dr. Vilka. Oh, don't get mad at me, you guys. Somebody's gonna complain. It's fine. Whatever. She says that they can give you emotions, and then you can get emotions. And he's like, is this what you want? And she's like, I don't want to make that decision for you. I want you to make that decision if that's what you want. But she says something along the lines of, but I need. No, she says that later on. She needs. I'm gonna let you make that decision. So then we flash back, and this is the company that has created the robots, the Kaylons. And this woman's all like, listen, we've gotten 50, I think she says 53,000 complaints. And she's like, we need to do a recall. And he's like, no. He's like, she's like, this could bury us. He's like, a recall could bury us. And she's like, you knew this was going to happen. He's like, our AI, he's like, yes, but if we didn't do it, somebody else would have done it. The AI was necessary. And me personally, I'm just like, is it though? Because they needed to learn, but I'm all like, you couldn't have built in a system. And also I'm like, man, that's I don't know, man. Has anybody not seen Terminator, Skynet? Come on. Anyways. So he's all like, we're gonna do this new upgrade, which basically is, pain receptors. They're gonna cause it pain. And he's like, you're not gonna like it. And she's all like, I want to go on record that I don't like this, and this is a bad idea. and it ends up being a bad idea because they get killed off. And so this is they're they're trying to talk about corporate greed and corporations are bad and everything, and in this instance they are, because but this happens all the time, in stuff like like if you get into a car crash, and then they Fight Club, I think, said it the best. They like calculate like how much a recall would cost, and then how much a settlement would cost just to settle with a family that got into a car accident, to keep it hush hush, and it would most likely is less. But anyways, so they've got their dinner, they're having dinner, and the Amazons come in and they're all like, "You allow your men to eat dinner with you?" Oh, and she's like, "Yes, we do," and everything. But yeah, she's like, they'll be silent, because they're like, don't speak unless you're spoken to, guys, okay? And then they're like Bortus, what is he? A Bortus is here and everything. And I'm all like, don't be mean to Bortus. I love Bortus. I'm like, yeah, don't be mean to him. So then again, I have to compliment whoever designed these aliens. I really do enjoy them with their ears and their little face jewelry, whatever those are. Maybe it's bone. I don't know. It's very cool. Anyways, so they're talking about how they didn't allow their men to take elevated roles because, everything in their society got all messed up because of them. And I'm all like, they're basically saying, in our society, us men, we screw everything up. But I'm all like, do we though? Calm down. Okay. You don't need to bring somebody down to elevate yourself. I know we do it all the time. I'm guilty of it and everything. I'm being a hypocrite by saying that, but we all do it. So long story short, he's getting a little annoyed with them, but she's like, "What is this you call?" And she's like, "Chardonnay." And she's like, "You male, get me a refill." And as he does it, she grabs his hand. She's like, "You have soft hands." She's like, "Is he spoken for?" And she's like, "Nobody speaks for our men." And she's all like, "Then I will have him tonight." And I'm all like, and she's like, "Well, that's not our choice." And then this is the part that I love Gordon for, because he just goes, "I'll do it." And I'm all like, Gordon, that's my guy right there. Because I can tell you right now, if I was single, I'd have done the same thing. Be like, "I'll do it." I'll be like, "I will be her pleasure tool tonight," and everything. So I was like, Gordon, that's why I knew I liked you, dude. That's why I knew I liked you. You're a man after my own heart, even though you have no soul because you're a ginger. Anyways, so then they explain that he's really the captain, and they stand up and they're like, "You lied to us. This is not how you, diplomat and everything. We're leaving soon, tomorrow, whatever." And they're like, "Crap, we fucked up and everything." So then they're sitting here and they're explaining stuff or whatever, but then they leave, and then Burke comes in. I can't remember what she says to them, but then Timmis is like, "Commander Burke, I'd like to talk to you." And he's all like, "I know you have some stereotypes of us Kaylons." He's like, "But what you have to understand is what happened to us and what we went through before we overthrew our masters to become, independent." And I do have to say, because then she says something about genocide, and I do agree with her. I can't remember exactly what she said, but I do agree. Like, they did genocide one species, and then they just went on to do the rest of the universe and everything. And I go, not all biological life is bad. We learn, you got to give us time. It's like babies, we grow and everything. But he's like, you have to understand. And I do have to wonder, like, could they have just let those people live, just like not, try to take them over? I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter because it's already done. So then he shows how, Jan comes in. He's like, "Hey, K1, I need help in the yard." And he's like, "Your wife has asked me to cook dinner." He's like, "Let me do that first, and I will then come out and help you." He's like, "No, I said now." And he's like, "Yeah, but it'll be more efficient and faster if I finish dinner first." And he pulls out the little remote and he zaps him, and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "I said now." And me, I just go, "Yeah, but," I go, "Dude, take a chill pill and let him cook dinner. If he says it'll be faster for him to do that and then help you, maybe you should listen." I mean, yeah, I'm like, but he's the master of that household. Anyways, so he's like, and then he shows more. He's like, it got to be real bad. So the kids, they get a hold of the remote and they're like, hey, what's taking so long? He's like, that took a long time. Zap and everything. And they're like, well, you can't get out, you zap and everything. And they're having a good time of zapping him. Like, look at her dumb little face getting all happy or hurting him. And so he's like, finally, we were able to reach out to other Kaylons on our planet. We were able to talk and chit chat and everything. And that's when we decided no more. And it shows this house at night. And he wakes up and he goes upstairs and he opens up the adults' bedrooms. And I didn't take and he opens up and he shoots him in the head. And I didn't take a screenshot of that because I was like, I don't know if YouTube will freak out on me on that. I know they're aliens and stuff, but I don't want to deal with that. And then he goes into the kids' room. And I thought they wouldn't show, like they didn't show it, but they did show him shooting the kids. And I was like, crap. I was like, hardcore parkour. And he's like, I realize now that not all biological life is bad, but you have to understand, we were being treated like crap. And they were being treated like crap. Has anybody never watched a sci-fi movie where the robots take over? You got to treat them like, a person. So then these two, she comes in and she's all like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what we can do to rectify this. And she's talking about Isaac and what they could do or whatnot. And then these two are talking about, he's talking about Tala and how he doesn't want to give it up, but she's hurting him kind of thing and all this stuff. And the redhead Gordon, he's all like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You got to make your own decisions. Now here at dinner, I don't know how I feel about this dinner scene because I understand where Dr. Finn is coming from. She needs that emotional connection. And I get it. We're humans. We need that intimacy. We need emotional connection. We need you to feed off of our emotions and everything. And we just need that human connection. And Isaac doesn't have that. But she talks to him about getting that and everything. And I honestly, I felt like this was an ultimatum. I felt like it was an ultimatum. And I do not like ultimatums. I absolutely hate them. If you give me an ultimatum, even if I'm not even like I'm all like, okay, I don't really need this or whatever it is. If you give me that ultimatum, I'm going to pick exactly opposite of what you want just because you gave me an ultimatum. That's just maybe that's a personality flaw on my part, but yeah, I don't like ultimatums. Do not do that. I won't do that to you. You don't do that to me. That's not cool. Not cool, dude. Be cool guy. So he's like, gonna do it. He's gonna decide to do it. So then now she's crying because he's all like, we need to, she's like, I'm going to miss you and everything. I thought we could make this work. And then we pan over and his face is all bubbled up. And I'm like, what were you doing? Was she riding your face? Like, because I get it though. I get it. When you're handing out free mustache rides, I get it. It's super fun, but she went hardcore on she bubbled up his face. So he's leaking and everything. Oh, and even coughs and like 3 of his teeth fell out. I was like, oh, as soon as you mess with my smile, I'm like, I'm out. I'm surprised she didn't break his dick off. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so he leaves and everything. So these two are sitting here and he's like, Timmis, Dr. Velka, I would like to do the surgery. I want emotions. So then these two are sitting there talking and they are trying to come up with a way to rectify and mend their relationship with the Amazons. And they come up with a way to tell them about us. They're talking about their relationship, how they were married, and then they had to get divorced because Kelly cheated. So they meet with them and they're like, listen, in our society, we were married. We were together. But I cheated. And they're like, which was your right as a woman. Because in their, I forgot to mention, in their species hierarchy, the men have to stay faithful, but the women can sleep with whoever they want. Which is not fair in any society. It's not fair. That's not cool. It's not cool, guy. I'm a big believer in monogamy. I'm not like a slut shamer or anything, but when you're in a relationship, you're in that relationship. No cheaters. That's not cool. If you wanted to cheat, you don't be with that person because you're just hurting her and yourself. Anyways, or him and yourself. I don't know. Anyways, so they're all like, listen, we were together, I cheated, and even though we were together, he brought me on this ship as his, second in command, because they realized that together we're stronger, because we can, she's smart and resilient and brave and strong and all that stuff. And, they feed off of each other in a positive manner. Like they build off of each other instead of, tear each other down kind of thing. And she's like, listen, she's all like, even though we did deceive you a little bit, isn't, what we just told you, isn't that enough to just stay at the table and maybe hear us out later on? And she's like, you can send a diplomat to our planet. We will receive her gladly. And so they rectified the situation. So then Dr. Finn gets a little on her apartment, and it's a box. This is Claire. And she gets a note and says, come to dinner. And then she opens it up and it's a dress. And I'm sorry I didn't get the picture of the dress in the box, because you have to see it when it's on. Now, I just want to say this right now. And this is the dress. Look at her face. She's like, oh, and I'm all like, that face is not for this dress, unless that's a thing of pain, because this dress is fucking awful. Like, Isaac, a fashionista, you are not Isaac, because this dress is friggin' awful. It's got a slip on the side, and I'm all like, Dr. Finn is not a lady of the night, Isaac. She is a lady. Okay. This was not a good dress. So she walks in. I didn't get the slip. Oh, bummer. It's at like a slit in the side. You can see her little leg, which is fine, but this dress is friggin' awful. I'm sorry. It's just ugly. Anyways, all right, sorry. But so he's like, I can feel and everything. He's like, I've never felt this way before. The emotions, it's so much. It's like, I can't even describe it, but yet I want more of it, kind of thing. And she's like, oh, and everything. Oh, there's the slip. You can see it right there. Anyways. So they start dancing and everything. And long story short, he's like, I have no more emotions. I can't feel the emotions and everything. So they go back to the lab, and they realize that Timmis was built by the creators and Isaac was built by the Kaylons. So it broke, it like detached or whatever. And the doctor can reattach it, but it'll just keep breaking off and everything. So they'll just have to keep reattaching it and breaking off, reattaching it. Or she can reattach it permanently, but it'll erase all of Isaac's memory. And Isaac was like, is this what you want? And she's like, no, Isaac, I cannot get rid of who you are, because who you are, the person that you are, is who I fell in love with. And to get rid of that is to get rid of, any kind of love. And when that happened, I was like, see, this is the kind of stuff that daddy wants in this. I'm daddy, by the way. I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, Dr. Finn, I love you right now. And I do like this character, Dr. Finn. She's getting an awful lot of screen time this season also, but she's making the right choice. Like, you can't get rid of Isaac's personality. He's great. I love Isaac, but she's willing to make that sacrifice. And I was like, that is selflessness right there. I felt like she gave him the ultimatum before, but now she's saying, no, I love you. I can't get rid of you. And that's what would be happening. They'd be starting over from scratch. And who knows if he would love her after that. So then back in engineering, Isaac is doing his thing, and Bert comes in and she's like, hey, Isaac, you need help. And he's like, actually, if you helped me, it would kind of make things slower. And she's like, typical Kaylon. She's like, listen, I didn't realize what you and the Kaylons had went through beforehand. And she's all like, but I do now. And she's like, maybe we can start to think about building a bridge between you and I. And he's all like, okay, great. Maybe I could use your help. And she starts to help him. And then that's the end of the episode. So like I said before, this episode was good. A tiny bit of I'll say identity politics, but maybe the message, but it wasn't like, I felt like it was like, old Star Trek, where they planted the seeds and then you made up your own mind about it, or went and did your own research and tried to figure out what exactly the undertones of what they were trying to say. The acting was good. Again, I liked seeing the Kaylons past and what they went through. Like I said before, nothing we hadn't seen before in sci-fi, but it's still fun. It's still a good story. I still do not understand how anybody has never seen a movie before and is just all like straight up like, hey, these robots won't take us over. I'm like, no, it's Skynet all over the place. You need to lock and key, but don't treat them like crap, because that's what starts it. That's what starts the uprising. But yeah, so that is my breakdown and review of this. I was wondering, I just wanted to add this at the tail end of it. Do you guys like these breakdowns? Because someone had commented, and I wish I had the comment here, that they don't like that I shouldn't do these breakdowns because you guys have already seen the episode, so you know what happens. I personally, I watch so many breakdowns of this episode. This is content that I like to watch, so I make content that I want to see. And I have so many other YouTubers that I watch. They do the exact same thing I do. Some of them I think do it better, but they've been at it longer than I have. And you know, they have more time. This is not my full-time job being a YouTuber. Is this something you want to see, or do you want me to do something different or whatnot? Because you know, I don't know if I'm you know, giving you an entertaining experience. That's what I'm just trying to do, entertain you and stuff. Yeah, no. Tell me what you guys think about my videos as far as this goes. Are these breakdowns too long? You know, do I, you know, but I just give me some feedback, please. I always enjoy feedback. You know, and please don't just be like, you suck. That doesn't help me at all. That doesn't help. I mean, I get it if you think that, but you're like, you suck, you need to do this, this, and this. Because like that person that said that, I was like, okay, you know, maybe going forward, I'll try to do a little bit. I was going to do it with this episode, but I'm on a time crunch here. So I was like, I got, maybe next week I'll try to do it, you know, differently. But yeah. All right. Tell me what you guys think about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Who is your favorite Orville character? For me, it's Gordon. I love Gordon. He's so great. Can't get enough of the guy. He makes me laugh so much. Yeah. All right. Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit the like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys next week on my Orville breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.